So this is literally, everyone paying attention? That's a coordinate, an XY coordinate, correct? XY coordinate, XY coordinate, XY coordinate. So pick up your calculator and say thank you, calculator, before starting. Because your calculator is going to be the reason why you are successful today. Okay. What we're going to do, flip ahead till you get to that table. Now, the table we're on is example 1. If you flip to the page on the back side, so if you have your whole paper outside of your booklet, if you booklet out, this is the page we're on. This is the page that has directions for us, unless you're Cassie. This is the page we're on. These are the directions we're going to follow. Okay? So it's flip sides. Yeah? Today can be a wonderful day, or today can be an overwhelming day. You make the choice. The overwhelming day comes if you're on your phone, you're not paying attention, or you don't listen. Okay? The other way the overwhelming day comes is if you get behind and then you panic. Go. We're going to do it a whole bunch of times, and by the end of the class, if you will just try and you don't panic, you will be very, very successful. All right. Pick up your calculator. All right. Now, what it says on your sheet, on that back side, when you flip back, flip to the back side. Because the table of values, I'll just leave up on the board. You don't need those as much as you do need the directions on the flip side. Okay? So you can highlight the ones that matter. Some of this we're not really going to worry about. So we're just going to highlight what matters. So the first one we're going to highlight is how to enter the data into lists. So that's important. Put a little star beside A. We're not going to do all the letters. Was that yours?
No,
Oh. Okay. Perfect. So A, it's just a transition of papers. That was like comical. Like you circled back. So we're on this side, just, you know, and you can give it back to them. Grab that. Okay. We're good. You guys got to find some data list things. All right.
There's a list.
Yeah. Okay. So number A, I'm sticking with it. I called it. I'm keeping it. Number A. Yep. That's where we're at. Number A is where we're going to start. We're going to star it. We're going to bold it. Everything's good. So this is how we get our data into lists. So list 1 will always be at. Don't even know what the. Don't even know what I did. List 1 will always be X. List 2 will always be Y. Okay. So it shows us how to do it. We press stat. And then here it says press stat, then number 1, edit. Now can everyone put the calculator down first? Everyone has to put it down because people who do not listen to me will clear their lists and then call me over and feel ashamed and be like, Mrs. Lepp, you're right, I didn't listen. And I cleared off my list. I actually deleted it. That's what I did, Mrs. Lepp. I'm so sorry. But we're not going to have that today. We're all going to listen. Yeah. Okay. In your lists, when you go to clear them, you want to clear your lists. Do you agree? Do we want to delete our lists?
No.
That would delete the entire list. We don't want to delete our list. What half you're going to do? You're not, because you're listening right now. We want to clear our list. So put some random numbers in list 1 and list 2 right now. Don't do these, just random numbers. Random numbers. I really wish my calculator worked on my computer right now, but it tells me it doesn't exist right now. Perfect timing. Okay, random stuff. Doesn't matter. Okay, then you're done. Stop. How we clear the lists. Clear. We want to clear them. We want to clear them. We go to the top up to L1 and we press clear. Enter. We won't talk about the D word because that would not clear it. That would do something else. But I'm going to speak the word because the word doesn't exist. Clear, enter. And then you go to list 2, go all the way up till you're on L2, like at the very top, right? And you go clear, enter. And now your lists are cleared, correct? Okay, key things about lists. Lists have to be the same length. So if your lists are not the same length, it's not going to be calculated. So sometimes we have like another extra box on here, and it'll be like 2010, and then this will be blank. Everyone paying attention, because this will happen and you guys won't know what to do with yourselves. Our lists have to be the same length. So if I have an X and I don't have a Y, or I have a Y and I don't have an X, I don't put that one in. It's often the one they're making you find. Okay? You just don't put that one in. You put in the X, Y coordinates that have an X and a Y. Okay? So the X, Y coordinates also have to go together. You can't do different ones with different things. Okay? So if you have 1999, 1999, that is not 1999. If you have 1996, 1998, 1999, 2002, right? Go in your list ones and go fill those in. And then put these all into your list twos in that order. Go. So we're bypassing B for a second. We will use it. This one says determine a linear regression. This is where it gets a little tricky. Okay? So star or highlights D. So we're going to go from A to D. A, then D. Okay? So D says, are you ready? Let's take the calculators back up. Press stat. Then go over to calc. Then for what the time being, we're going to use either 4, which is linear, 5, which is quadratic, or 6, which is cubic, because we're in the polynomial here. Okay?
Let me guess, 7 is probably used for calculus.
I don't even know what 7 is. We use 4, 5, 6, 9, 0, and C in 30 days. It's on a sheet. It's right there. Someone told me that if they make it art, I can't take it down. So you're welcome. They put the cheats. Those are the only ones that you're going to use for your calculator. I mean. I do have to take it down if there's a diploma in here. Because that is, I don't have control. It would have to come down. Okay, diplomas don't run in this classroom anyways for math. And the one time they did, I took it down. So obviously we can't have that up. Okay, so what are we picking? 4, 5, or 6? 4. You don't actually need this by the end of the year either. You guys will have these memorized. It's just a running joke. Okay, so you pick linear. Okay, and then you press enter. Now, if you look at E, did the light flicker or was that me?
Yeah.
Good. I was a little scared there. E, when we look at E, we're going to all follow older calculators. So do you see E on first instructions? We're going to all follow older calculators. Every single one of us. New calculators, old calculators, Sans, Casios. You're going to be good, yes. So every single person is following the older calculator mode. Okay? So on your screen currently, you should have a linear equation, right? If you have the fancy new ones, you have to press enter a few times until the linear equation pops up, right? But everyone should have a linear equation popping up. Fancy new ones, you hit enter a few times and it pops up. We agree? Okay. Can you think of anything worse than having to write all those decimals down to then transfer them to the y equals by typing them in? That was a rhetorical question. So,
Yes, I can.
no, there is nothing worse. There's lots of worse things. But my point is that would stink, wouldn't it? So there are steps that will put it there for you. Okay? We want to get that equation into y equals. Yes? So we're going to press the y equals button right now. So we're following the older calculator button. Once you have the linear equation on your screen, do you have it? Everyone has it? If you don't have it, it's not going to get into your y equals. Does everyone have it? So you're going to press y equals. We're following the older calculator instructions. Press y equals. Then you're going to go vars, the vars button. It's below the arrow. You're going to press vars. Then you're going to press statistics. Over to equation. Because when you press that, look what you have. Regression equation. So technically you're going y equals, I want the regression equation in it. Right? 1, and then enter. And now press your y equals. It should be in there. You have it in there? Yeah, we're gonna deal with the window after. Right now, we're just dealing with, can I get in a Y, can I get this into my Y?
I wanted to delete something from the list.
It's a zero.
She does. I get it. I'll leave her regression. I got A X plus B. No, it's not. I didn't get a decimal right.
Okay, so zoom out.
Yeah.
Zero won't go away. I messed up my name.
That's exactly what I like.
Exactly what he said. Okay, can you guys get it to, do you have a Y equals in your calculator? Everyone has it? Speak now or forever hold peace. Yes. Okay. You know how people cry and whine about windows and they're like, I never understand the window. Well, you have a table of values. It will help you. These are the best windows out there. Why do I know that people hate windows? Because I was a teenager once and I too hated the windows. I was like, I don't know what does that mean do. I just randomly pick things. I put 10 and 10, and if that doesn't work, I go to 100, and if that doesn't work, I go to 1,000,000. Not a good idea, okay? So, can you guys go to your window, please? So, press window. Guys, we have a table of values that has values on it. Yeah? What's my lowest X value right now, currently on this table? 1996. So I'm going to make my X min be lower than that. Maybe 1950. So it's below it, correct? If they ask me for the year 1945, will I be able to find it though if my X min is 1950 currently? No, I'd have to make it be 1945 or lower, right? So we have to look what we're looking for. So my X min will be 1950. My X max, what's the highest it is currently? 2009, maybe do 2030. Scary as we're really close to that already. I think one of my kids graduates in 2030.
Graduates and when?
What the heck? No, 2029.
That's the year my younger brother graduates.
They're the same age.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. X min, X max, X scale. This is what the ticks go up by. So you can make them go up by every 10 years maybe, or every 5 years. So I'm going to put a 5 there. You could leave it as a 1. It's not the end of the world. It just might have so many ticks that it just looks like a solid black line. But it's not the end of the world. Okay? So I'm making each tick be every 5 years. So 1950 there'd be a tick, 1955, you know what I mean? 1960, 1965. Okay. Then we go to our Y min. What's the lowest our Y is currently for this one? This is a 1-hour record of a person traveling by bicycle. 78? So maybe let's make it be 70. And then Y min, remember these windows aren't set for life. If they like want 65, you just change it, right?
You mean why max?
That is totally a max. I have no idea what you're talking about. See? It's perfect. 90.6, so I'm going to do 100. And then I'm going to make my Y scale be 5 again. It's not spelled like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Then press graph. A graph should show up. If you're a person who calls me over on the test and you're like, my graph didn't show up, I will always say to you first, press your Y equals. And you'll press it, and it's often blank. It don't have an equation. If it doesn't have an equation, no matter how nice your window is, it can't have a graph. Yeah? So always, before you call me over and you're like, Mrs. Lepp, my calculator's not working, it's not graphing, press your Y equals and see if there's an equation. You may have bypassed step D. Should be a line. It's just you didn't do the window I said. Check your X min. Guarantee you it's negative 1950.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So before we start, the next question, we will always do this. Everyone paying attention? Where the errors happen on this test is not in the fact that people forget steps. They usually are pretty good about that. The error happens in that they'll get a new y equals, and they won't put it into the y equals. So the next question, they do the answer based off of having an equation from the previous question, right? So before I ever start my next question, I go to my y equals, and I clear it. So go y equals, clear. So now it doesn't matter. If I forget to put the equation in, at the worst case scenario, I'm not going to have an equation, and I'll be like, oh wait, I need to do that, right? But if you leave that equation sit in there, the next question you might do off of that equation. We don't want that to happen. Okay? Data 2. Go. List 1, list 2. We want a linear again. Our X min, this is Matt buys t-shirts for a company that prints art on t-shirts and resells them. When buying the t-shirt, the price Matt must pay is related to the size of the order. 5 of Matt's past orders are listed. So the number of t-shirts he bought, the lowest number he bought was 200 and the highest number he bought was 740, right? Cost per shirt, what can it go lowest to? 0, but he's buying all those shirts, if that's the case. So it'll never go to 0, but whatever. He's not going to get negative cost. He's also not going to get 0. But we could still do that. So number of shirts, the lowest number of shirts he could get would be 0, right? He could get none. Kind of stupid, but he could. X max, right now, his largest quantity bought was 740. Well, maybe we could go to 1,000. I always like going a little bit bigger. If you make your X scale 1, you are seeing no dashes, because between this little screen this big, you have 1,000 dashes. Right? So it's just a solid black line. Not the end of the world, but if you actually want to see them, maybe make them be 50 or 100 so you can see them. Okay? And then your Y min is the price per shirt. What is the price per shirt lowest it could be? $0. Your Y max currently is $5.20, so maybe, I don't know, $8. And then your Y scale can just be 1 because it's from 0 to 8, right? And then press graph and see what you see. It should be a decreasing linear line because as you buy more shirts, it should cost less money, right? So it should be going like this on your screen. Shouldn't have a curve because it's linear. It should be going like boom. Yeah? Yeah. Okay? Is everyone getting it to show up? Because unless you speak up, I'm assuming this is going swimmingly. And if you still haven't gotten a y equals in, you need to put your hand up. Okay, go to your y equals, clear it out. If you need help, put your hand up. I'll be right over there. Try this one out, and it's a linear as well. X, Y.